Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Hager number 5910 hold open arm in a dark bronze finish. Let's take a look. I show this as a 5307 arm. Not sure where 5910 is coming from. I'm going to pull up a link below this video to the product catalog. Yeah, and indeed, there's nowhere in the product catalog that 5910 comes up. In the product catalog, this is a 5307 arm. It is a friction type hold open arm is what it is. Available in 4 finishes. Aluminum, dark bronze, light bronze, gold. This is the dark bronze. The DBZ, dark bronze. And this is a friction style hold open. Once upon a time, the only hold open I was ever aware of was a friction style hold open. They have become absolutely not permissible on fire rated doors. Absolutely not. And in fact, there might be some code in Chicago about friction hold open arms where I think they're not permissible whatsoever. Is possibly the case. But this is a friction style hold open arm, and this is non-handed. This will work in either orientation that you need, and the way by which you basically do that is you literally flip the arm over end for end, and the way in which it's going to hold open is where you have this nut set. There's a washer that's in there. There's literally a piece of flat material, and I believe it to be brass or bronze based. I don't think it's steel. This is all cast. That's steel. I don't know what that washer, there is a flat washer in there that permits these two pieces to move together. But if you were to get the proper size wrench, and you do need the proper size wrench to get around this nut, you're going to want a really either factory original wrench. I don't know that Hager offers one. They may not. Some manufacturers do. I don't see it in their catalog. So an incredibly proper size wrench that's fit very well, maybe with an extension, a pipe over the end of it, so that you can really affect the change on repositioning the nut, because it's a friction nut. It's meant to move and stay in position. I've had people so severely torque the door open that they couldn't get it back pulled off. And the bottom line is, yeah, you need a bigger wrench. That's the only way it's going to happen on that. I would suggest severely that you study this prior to putting it up, so that you understand the movement of the nut and how it changes your degree of opening. Okay, you're probably going to have to change it to not only account for whatever mounting method you're dealing with, because how this is going to be attached in a regular arm mount is certainly going to be different than when it's attached in a parallel arm mount. So you're probably going to have to change. It's going to be upside down. You're probably going to have to change that point so that you're holding open at the proper dimension or the proper degree of opening. Classic friction style holder. Use them on those applications where it's not fire rated. You don't have a fire rated door, and a friction style just meets the criteria. Because of the difficult nature of friction style, and what I mean is adjusting it, moving that nut. Nobody likes to work on these things. I certainly don't. I've had to put them in vices before and try to beat them over with a mallet. I would prefer the 5906 hold open version, which is going to basically give you a large spring-loaded handle that you can manipulate, and it will pull a concave feature down off of a solid bearing. Not a lot of work to do on that. Just pull it. That's all you have to do. This can be difficult it can be dangerous, I was going to say, because of how you might have to manipulate the setting of the nut. But it's fully adjustable. It's non-handed. You can install it, for a 80-degree hold open, 90-degree, or as far as the door will go. It just depends on where you place the position of that nut in terms of the thread that's in here. And these two pieces, literally, right now they're loose. I do it like this. They're no longer loose. They don't move anymore. Okay? That's just how they work. Now, the link below this video to the product catalog is a 5300 series closer overview, which is really helpful because it will show you, it'll talk to you about the closer completely, but it will also show you all of the replacement parts, all of the arms that they have, the extra duty arms, the hold opens with dead stop, the dead stop arms alone, covers, parallel arm brackets, extra clearance brackets when you have some conflict with maybe a coordinator, blade stop spacers. Blade stop applies to aluminum storefront. Bodies only, arm caps only, longer arms for deep reveal. The interesting thing is what you might need to go along with this would be the 5914 hold open parallel arm bracket. The parallel arm bracket for a hold open is different than the parallel arm bracket for a standard arm, so be mindful. It takes an L-shaped it's going to take an L-shaped, depending on how it's going to be installed, it can take an L-shaped sort of bracket to make this work. Screw packs are there as well as well as drop plates. So the catalog, we don't need all that information, but it's really handy to have. The template is also linked to there where you can see, and there is a wrench mentioned there. Okay, so they do indicate that a friction style hold open is something that maintenance is required on. They do illustrate a wrench, a box wrench or a specialty wrench. That's what you need to make this work, or you need something to emulate that, so that's handy. Then there's the installation instruction. And it's just a door closer installation instruction. That's handy in the sense that you might have a door that you are converting from regular arm to hold open. That's pretty unusual. Generally, people need to remove hold opens. But the point of the matter is the installation instructions are going to govern the placement of where the arm needs to be in relationship to a hold open point or a degree of opening. So if you're doing that sort of conversion, you're going to look after... You're going to follow the regular arm or parallel arm mount, but you'll want to be mindful that, you're going to have some extra holes on this that you're going to have to drill because a rod shoe is not quite so wide. Okay, this is adjustable with this threaded nut, and that's to account for... it's really to account for the exact installation, but more so also if you're doing a top jam sort of installation, the reveal from the face of the header to the face of the door. You might simply need to be able to get this moved out further to meet the reveal of what you're dealing with. It would actually be like this in a top jam sort of mount. Okay, so be mindful of that. You might need to manipulate your arm length. Okay. Forged steel. Mounts pull side or top jam with shallow reveal. That means that you're only going to go up to so much of a reveal. If you have an 8 3/4 jam depth frame, you're probably going to need to make consideration on that. I don't know if they define... Yeah, they don't tell us what the reveal is going to be maximum on this at all. So be mindful that if you have a frame bigger than 5 3/4 jam depth, you might have trouble with that. And if that's the case, reach out to us and we'll ask the factory if there's anything that they can do about that. And I'm going to be tempted to say that the answer will be no. They don't have any answer for that because they do have a long rod and shoe, but it is not meant for a friction style hold open. It would be only for their 5303 main arm because it has a rectangular bar that slides inside of a other rectangular piece. This is all threaded together. Okay. Finally, oh, and you'll get a screw pack as well. You're going to need the screws for the 2 holes for the friction end, and then the screw to hold the arm onto the spindle from the door closer body itself. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Hager products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. The name Hager is synonymous with door hardware and has been for 150 years, if not longer, and that's just a true statement. Their namesake is Hager Hinge, and I think when people think of Hager, at least once upon a time, I certainly would think of Hager Hinge, but they are certainly a lot more than just a supplier or a manufacturer of hinges. Hager will be able to supply you with everything for the door opening, literally, except the door and frame itself. Whether it be hinges, or door closers, exit devices, lock sets, electrified hardware, trim and auxiliary hardware, weather stripping, sliding door hardware, accessory hardware like signage, filler plates for use on steel doors and steel frames. It just goes on and on and on. And people are generally quite loyal to Hager. The end user, I've had people call up and say, "Hey, I need a Hager this and that," and I happen to know it's a 3-week item. Oh gosh, that will never work. Okay, so Hager needs 3 weeks. You want to do an alternate? No, thank you. I'll wait for the Hager. I hear that often, time and time again. Must be something to it, Hager. So good work. If you have any questions on the Hager 5307, in spite of the fact that it's a 5910, this must be used. Maybe the part number from a 5200 series is 5910. I don't know. This is a 5307 ARM for purposes of this video. Any questions on this or any other Hager product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.